Hey there, Leah here, and you are all set up for the training, which is going to start in about 3 minutes. And before we dive in, there are just a few things I want to cover to help you get the most out of our time together. So, in this training, you're going to learn a step by step framework to getting higher paying clients in your B2B consulting or coaching business in a way that doesn't even feel like selling. And you're going to create your personalized roadmap to landing higher paying clients in your business. So, to get the most out of this training, here's what I recommend. First, be sure to complete this training in the next 48 hours. You're watching this right now on a unique link that's just for you, which is going to give you access for 48 hours. So don't wait too long. To do that, I recommend blocking your calendar. Dedicate the time to this because getting higher paying clients is too important to just sort of half ass it. So if you're switching between the tab that you're in right now and Gmail in another tab and Facebook and all the other tabs you got going on, you're going to miss some important information. So while you're in this training, I recommend closing out of the other tabs and applications and just making this the only thing you focus on. Next, treat this as though it's a live training. This is actually a recording of a live training I did a little while ago. And by the way, when we did it live, I had like all of the tech challenges. My monitor died, there were helicopters circling overhead. But, what's a live training without tech challenges, right? So you're going to see all of that. But as you go through the training now, treat it with the same attention you would as if it was live. Because when you engage like it's live, you're going to learn more, you're going to retain more of what you're learning, and you won't miss anything. All right. And I'm going to be sharing some hard hitting stuff about your client pipeline, your mindset, and we're actually going to be creating your roadmap to getting higher paying clients together. So if you want to get the most out of this time, give it your attention, take lots of notes, and engage as if it was live. And PS, if you take a picture of your notes and you post them on LinkedIn and tag me, I'll give you a shout out and show you some LinkedIn love because I love rewarding women who are taking action. All right. And be ready to take action. Don't spend 60 minutes creating a personalized roadmap for your business and then just shove it away and not do anything with it. So at the end of this class, I'm going to prompt you with some next steps. So be ready to take action so that you can actually start to get the higher paying clients that you want. So get ready because I'm going to show you how I went from not knowing how to get clients, from being so uncomfortable doing anything that even felt like selling, that I actually had to go back and get a corporate job. You're going to see how I went from that point to how I learned how to get clients and how I got to a 92% win rate and sold $3 million in work. And you're going to learn how women just like you are getting paid more for their consulting work than they ever imagined they could, so that they can choose the clients they want, so they can take on fewer clients and have more time for themselves, and how they can actually run their businesses instead of their businesses running them. Because if the past recent unpleasantness has shown us anything, it's that our time is too valuable to spend it on clients that don't value our time and expertise. So even if you've never had to sell before, even if you've only gotten clients through word of mouth or referrals, even if you haven't quite figured out your ideal client, even if you don't feel totally comfortable putting yourself out there, and even if you've gotten this far with the skills or the network or the connections that you have, but you know that they're not going to be the ones to get you where you want to go, you can learn how to get the clients you want and get paid more and do it in a way that doesn't even feel like selling. All right. And that's what you're going to learn in this training. You ready? Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Lisa. Let's see. We've got Sue here. Char is here. Hey, Emily. Hey, Bruce. What's up, you guys? I'm looking at like two different screens right now, so I can see you as you come in. Hey, Julia. Hey, Kristen. Lisa is here. Sonia is here. Oh my, who? Keisha is here. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Cynthia. Hey, Claire. What's up, you guys? I am so happy to see you. Hey, Trisha. Hey, Susan. Sonia. All right, you guys. Okay. Hey, guys. Yeah, say hello in the chat. Make sure you have set your chat to hosts and panelists, just so that it's, just so we can all hang out together. Julia says, so excited for this. Love the podcast. Oh, I'm so excited, Julia. Thank you so much for being here. You guys, if you have listened to the podcast, let me know in the chat. Just tell me in the chat if you've tuned in. You sort of put it out there for the world, and just want to make sure and see if folks are listening. Hey, Susan. All right, you guys, we are, oh, Lisa says, love, love, love the podcast. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, I have to tell you, we are here for a really incredible training. I can't wait to share with you about how to land higher paying clients in your consulting, coaching, or service-based business. I do have to tell you, I have had all manner of tech challenges this morning. I have had, and they're literally like helicopters flying above me. So I am going to need your help to tell me that I've got this set up properly when I pull up the slides, all of that. We're going to do it together as a team. All right. So Sue says, yes, have listened to all the podcast episodes. Amazing. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. See, I just lost my monitor, you guys. All right, let's see if we can get this back. Oh, this is going to be such an interesting afternoon. You guys, thank you so much in advance for bearing with me. All right, let's get my monitor back up. You're still with us. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn my video off because I do not trust the tech gods today. So I'm gonna turn my video off. I'm going to share my screen and I'm gonna need y'all to tell me when you can see my slide. Tell me in the chat, can you see this first slide with my face? Okay, yes, okay, awesome, slides are there. Jenna, yes, so glad you are here. Whew, all right, we're gonna do this together. So you're gonna wanna grab some paper and a pen or pencil. You guys, bonus if you have red, orange, and green markers. Hey, Eva, bonus and if you have red, orange, and green markers. Just grab them from your kiddos, or just see what you have around. Even if you like taking notes on digitally, like Google Docs, Evernote, whatever, I really encourage you to write things down today because we're going to be doing some circles, some boxes, the whole thing. It's up to you. That's just my recommendation. All right, so in the chat, oh sorry, there's another reason why I want to encourage you to write down your stuff. At the end of this training, if you take a picture of your notes and post them on LinkedIn and tag me, I will share it and give you a shout out. So that's always fun. So if you are just tuning in, we are here for how to land higher paying consulting clients so you can get paid more while working less and preventing burnout. Because you guys, the burnout is real these days. All right. While you are just getting yourself settled, tell me in the chat where you are located and what you do. Just real quick, what your business does. You don't have to do the whole pitch, but just like in a few words, tell me where you are and what your business does. And make sure your chat is set to host and panelists, or host and attendees. All right, let me know. So we have Savannah, Georgia, with health and social media, social service, nonprofits win more grants. Lisa in New York, yes, love New York in the house. Chicago suburbs, we have Bay Area, we have National Harbor, Maryland. We've got Keisha in New Jersey, just around the corner from me in New York. Sue in Michigan, Lisa in suburban Chicago, two Chicagos. We got Boston, Denver, we got more Chicago, we've got Orlando, Ontario, Canada, and Bruce in Boston. Eva in the unceded Algonquin territory in Turtle Island in Ottawa, yes. And then Emily in Philadelphia and Cape Cod. Oh, another Canada, awesome. All right, you guys, so glad you all are here with me. And I also wanna give a special shout out to just a few folks. A special shout out to my Pack Your Pipeline students. You guys have been with me to get your LinkedIn dialed in, to start filling your sales pipeline with your ideal clients. You have been through it and I wanna give you a shout out. Thank you for joining me here. If I wanna shout out to you, if this is your first time hanging out with me, thank you, welcome, so glad you're here. So glad you came to this training. I want to give you a shout out if you got dressed today. Let me know in the chat. Just give me like a hand, a hell yeah. If you got dressed today, I want to shout you out. You have showed up. Julia says, sort of. Dee says, always. Wow, good. I'm impressed. Lisa says, wearing clothes. Yes. Okay. You guys, the struggle is real. So whatever you did to get dressed to whatever degree today, I am so glad you did. I, put on some clothes for you guys as well. All right, let's get rolling. So before we begin, it's always important for me to set a goal. and for us to agree on that goal. And so my goal today is to give you the keys to help you land higher paying clients in your consulting or coaching business so that you can start to get paid more for the same work or less and avoid burnout. All right. So, how are we going to do that? We're going to talk about what we are seeing among women consultants, right? What we're seeing in the market. I'm going to share 3 myths that always hold everyone back. We're going to create your specific personalized roadmap to getting the consulting clients that you want. I'm going to share some strategies you can start to use today, and we'll talk about how to get started solving this problem. And because you're here today, I'm going to give you a bonus. You guys are getting my 10 ways to follow up with potential clients that won't make you feel like you are bugging them. You know, when you sit down at an email to write an email and you're like, you need to follow up, and you're like, ugh, I just feel like I'm going to annoy them. This guide and the strategies here will help you avoid that and feel super comfortable reaching out. All right. So, for those of you who I'm meeting for the first time, hi, hello, I'm Leah. And let's talk about why I'm here teaching you how to do this. So, I'm Leah Neaderthal. I am a sales coach for women running B2B consulting and coaching businesses. So, what does that mean? I help women land more of the B2B consulting and coaching clients that they want, get more yeses, and then get paid dramatically more for every contract. Before I did this work, I started, grew, and sold 3 companies. The first was a marketing and website design consultancy. The second was a consultancy where we helped nonprofits and social enterprises implement what's called lean startup methodology. And the third was an organization called Lesbians Who Tech, which is designed to help LGBTQ women and allies get into technology and grow their careers. Before all that, I started my career in Chicago. I know we have a bunch of Chicago folks in the house. Started my career in Chicago at ad agencies DDB and Leo Burnett. And then I went in-house to a mid-sized tech company. Other fun facts, I am from Nashville, Tennessee, but I lost my accent somewhere along the way. And now I live in Brooklyn, New York. All right. So there's one thing that as we go down this list, that you might notice I've never done. And I've never actually been a salesperson. So, how does someone who's never done sales become a sales coach for women entrepreneurs, right? So, to answer that question, we have to go back to 2010. So, that year, I left that job in corporate marketing. I was in house at the tech company. I left that job to travel the world with my then girlfriend. And as we were traveling, we were backpacking, we were going super fast. It was such a whirlwind. If you've ever gone backpacking, you know what a whirlwind it can be. And you sort of let me know in the chat if you've ever gone backpacking or just sort of like any fast-paced trip. And you realize that, we weren't experiencing any of the places we were seeing. So we decided to slow down, and instead of seeing the world and squeezing the world all into one year and then going back to an office job to live, the best of our years of our lives under fluorescent lights, we thought, why don't we create a business that would allow us to live anywhere? We were really into like Tim Ferriss at the time, 4 Hour Work Week. If you've ever read 4 Hour Work Week or heard of Tim Ferriss, let me know in the chat. Just give me a thumbs up or a hell yeah to make sure you're doing it to hosts and attendees. Yes. Okay. Yes. So you know the drill, Keisha. All right. Okay, you guys. So this is how the first consulting business was born, that marketing and website design firm. So we actually cut our trip short after around 8 months, and we came back to the States to focus on getting new clients so that we could continue traveling. By that time, it was 2011. And the thing is that my background was in marketing. My whole career had been in marketing, and I was starting a marketing business. And I was like, how hard could it be, right? How hard could that be? And how hard could it be to get clients? But this is what was going on in the country in 2011. All right, that was going on, that was happening, and this was happening, right? Seemed a little familiar. So, and that's the environment in which I needed to get clients. And pretty much this is how I felt about that, because getting clients was so much harder than I thought it would be. Like, I've done hard things before, AP Calc was like awful, right? College, whatever, but like this is different because this was something I felt like I felt like I should have figured out, because I learned that it's about 1,000 times harder to sell your own stuff than it is to sell someone else's. If you guys discovered that too or felt that, let me know in the chat. Just give me a yes, or tell me if if you've discovered this too, that it's about 1,000 times harder to sell your own stuff than it is to sell someone else's. Okay, yes, so I'm not alone. All right. And, the thing is that I had never been a salesperson, right? I realized really quickly that marketing is not selling, right? So, two very different things. And I was embarrassed that I didn't already know how to do this, and nobody, I felt so paralyzed. So I even went back to work for somebody else, which I knew was a huge mistake. Like after the first 2 weeks, I was like, this is a mistake because I knew that I wanted to run my own business. But if I was going to do that, I needed to learn how to sell, but not like I had seen, salesy sales guys try to sell to me. So I decided to teach myself how to land consulting clients. It needed to work, but it also needed to feel right for me. So I taught myself. I read everything I could get my hands on, which turned into 65 books. Everything that felt salesy, I ditched. I mean, I was trying every strategy with my own clients. If it felt salesy, I just ditched it. But if it felt comfortable, I kept it and worked with it. And I was listening to really how clients made decisions. I adopted a beginner's mindset because that's literally all I had. And I spent about 4 years learning and testing everything in my own business. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was creating a selling methodology that felt comfortable and it really started working. And using that methodology, I have a 92% win rate and I've sold over $3 million in work. And now I teach what I learned in that process is what I share with my clients. And it's what I'm going to share with you today in the roadmap that we're going to create for you. So in this process, I realized that if I had been struggling with this, then other women were probably struggling with it too, right? No surprise that women entrepreneurs say customer acquisition is the number one most challenging part of their business. Again, not a surprise to you. You probably feel that every day. I know I did. And it's even harder right now because a lot of women business owners are seriously burned the fuck out. Tell me in the chat if this sort of says something to you or if this resonates with you. Because listen, I mean, we've been in this for a while. We are experiencing brain fog, Chandler, to a crisp, burned to a crisp. People are feeling all types of depression and anxiety. It's making a lot of people's hair fall out. That actually happened to me. Like my hair literally fell out. It's what, encouraged me to actually go gray, stop coloring my hair. Some people are so tired of being with their families, and some people are so isolated that it's killing them. And then, a lot of mothers are just feeling the additional weight of responsibility and sort of that silent work on top of it, right? So for that reason, when we talk about getting clients right now, getting clients is not about getting booked, right? The completely booked. This is about getting paid more for the same work or less so that you can actually take time for yourself, so that you can not feel like you're working all the time on the top of the other sort of mental or sort of emotional work you're doing, so that you can take a walk in the day, middle of the day if you want to, so that you can do something that you enjoy that's not work, so that you can be present with your family or you can actually get away from your family and you can still feel like you're moving towards your financial goals. But it's about doing all of this while you avoid burnout. And the thing is, it's totally possible. So this is just a few of my clients who have done this recently. Lindsay got her biggest client engagement ever. Another one of my clients closed $42,000. Even though, the other day she wondered if she would ever get a gig. She said things can turn around quickly. And Eileen said she's actually had to start a pension plan for herself because her net revenue and net income was so strong this year. Right. And this is like right now with everything that's going on. All right. So this is possible. I just want to share that with you. But if we're going to do this, we're going to start to learn how to sell. We have to talk about some myths. And there are 3 of them. All right. So the first myth is that selling is something you either have or you don't. Has anybody ever said that or thought that, selling is something, or maybe somebody even mentioned it to them. Selling is something you either got it or you don't, right? You might have actually repeated this if you've ever said, I'm just not a salesperson. But the thing is that this is a myth. because the truth is that anyone can learn how to sell to and land the clients that they want. Julie says, I've never thought of myself as a salesperson and I don't want to be. Absolutely. But you can still get comfortable with this. You can do this really well. You can be very successful, even if you don't consider yourself a salesperson, because this is something that can be learned. And there's actual research to support this. Has anybody ever read this book, Mindset by Carol Dweck? Let me know in the chat. This book is unbelievable. It was like, so yes, excellent, like all caps, excellent. Okay, this book is life-changing. After this training, go pick up this book if you haven't read it yet. But anyway, so Dr. Dweck identified two types of mindsets: fixed mindset and growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that talent is innate and you either have something or you don't, right? People with a growth mindset believe that with hard work, you can do anything. So, or you can learn how to do anything. And Dr. Dweck showed that you can go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset and actually learn how to do anything, even the things that we tend to believe are innate, like creativity or athleticism. And if you can learn creativity or athleticism, then you can learn selling. And what I mean by this is like, you're not, here's sort of the overall message here. You're not bad at sales, right? You're not bad at sales. You just haven't learned how to do it yet, because anyone can learn how to sell to and land the clients they want. I am a perfect example. I'm a total introvert, not salesperson. You know, I'm not going to go shake 1,000 hands. And I figured out how to do it. But the clients I've worked with are doing it too. And they're not sort of quote unquote, what we might have previously considered natural salespeople, right? But it's very possible. All right, that's the first myth. The second myth is that there's only one way to sell, and it looks like this. You know these guys, right? Like salesy sales guy, douchebag on the right, you know, used car salesman, like, you know, startup bro, whatever. This is the number one concern I get from women when they come to me and they like, I don't want to act like a salesy salesperson. You know, and I'm here to tell you that this is not the only way. And, you know, because you can sell in a way that fits you once you know the basics, right? Once you know the fundamentals, then you can layer on your personal style, right? It's not unlike learning how to get dressed, right? Once you figured out the pants part, you know, the pants go on the bottom and the shirt goes on the top, you can layer on your personal style. And there are so many types of, you know, so many personal styles out there. So you can do this in a way that fits you. You can be yourself, only, you know, just with more money, right? All right. The third myth is that there's no way my clients will pay or can pay me more. All right. There's no way. Have you ever thought this? Just this is a safe space. It's just us on this presentation. Or have you ever heard somebody say, there's no way my clients will pay me more, or there's no way my clients can pay me more? Because, you know, there are a lot of ways to sort of tackle this, right? And like, if you've listened to my podcast, you've heard that, like, you know, there are a lot of ways to sort of approach this. One thing is that I would just say right off the bat is that they might not be the right clients, right? Because the truth is that you can get the clients who will pay you more. You just know how to find them and help them say yes. But to do that, to get the clients who will pay you more, you have to know how to actually sell. And so, all right, say, like, let's just real talk here. It's easy to get crap clients. It is easy to get clients who don't want to pay you what you're worth, but it takes know-how to get higher paying clients and to actually help them say yes. It takes skill and it takes technique, right? Like, but it's also totally possible. So Maria said, I use Leah's techniques and templates to craft a strong proposal and boldly double my engagement price by adding more value without adding more work. And the client agreed without blinking an eye. And Stacy is an agile marketing consultant. She said, I renewed a client with the new pricing model. I was doing hourly billing before, and I just closed a $30,000 sale with no on-site work and no counting hours. And Ashley said, on Tuesday, I pitched a potential client for more than I thought she would go for. And on Tuesday, she wrote to say that her boss approved. So this is the real truth. You can get the clients who will pay you more, but the skills that got you here won't get you there. And the thing is that like these are not skills you just sort of have, because these are skills that people don't tell you about when you start your business, right? Everyone's like, start a blog, get a website, get QuickBooks or whatever. They don't tell you about this part. And they're not the skills you learned when you worked for someone else, right? You probably, tell me in the chat if you were in a sales role before. Chances are you were not in a sales role. So how would you be expected to just sort of know this, right? We didn't come from this, so how are we expected to know it? So is it any wonder that this is sort of annoying or difficult or sort of soul crushing, right? To feel like you're so, good at so many things, but this feels a little like fumbling in the dark. But these are the skills that truly unlock where you want to go in your business, because so that you can make the money that you want to make, so that you can replace your corporate salary and much more, so that you can feel smart, like as smart as you are, and feel valued. So you can feel like you actually know what you're doing, right? And so that you can have the business you envisioned when you left corporate, right? Okay. So how do we do that? So now we're going to craft your roadmap to start doing this. So again, grab some paper and a pen or a pencil. If you have some markers, please grab those, or some, colored pencils, whatever you have close by. All right, so we're going to do one little like tech, costume change here. Okay, can y'all see this? I'm using just like a white paper. Tell me in the chat if you see my iPad. Okay, awesome. Amazing. Tech costume change complete. All right, let me grab my other thing here. Okay, so at the very top, I want you to write a rectangle, and inside, I want you to write higher paying clients. All right, higher paying clients, that's what we're doing. And beneath that, draw 3 circles that are big enough to write in. In the left one, I want you to write the words own it. In the middle, write the words sign it. And on the right side, write the words maximize it. And let me know in the chat when you have it. Just say got it, or all good, or we're here. Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys. So when we talk about owning it, what we're talking about is becoming the CEO in this part of your business. You are already the subject matter expert in that part of your business, the sort of doing part of your business. But this is when you close this skill gap, you become the CEO in your own business. So this is about setting a course for your own revenue and how you're going to achieve it, so that you can shut off, turn off, shiny object syndrome, and just focus on getting clients and doing great work. When we talk about sign it, we're talking about the how of selling. How do you actually get leads? How do you take them to a successful close, right? And get paid more. And when we talk about maximizing it, what we're talking about is, well, hold on. This roadmap that we're creating is for women who run consulting businesses and are balancing doing the work with doing business development. You can't spend all day cold calling. So when we talk about maximizing it, we're talking about making every engagement more profitable, meaning more money and more time for the same or less time. So about balancing client work, about turning clients into more engagements and more clients. All right, through referrals and upsells. So consider these like 3 pillars of a stool, and they're equally important, because let's say if you can own it and you can sign it, but you can't maximize it, then you'll constantly be churning for work, right? If you can own it
And ideally, you could, once you get the client, you can maximize it by maybe turning it into more work through referrals and upsells, but you can't sign it, then you can't land the clients. Like you can't turn the clients into more work if you can't land them to begin with. And if you could sign it and you can maximize it, but you can't own it, then you'll never feel comfortable in this part of your business. You'll always feel sort of shaky. You'll feel like an imposter, right? So that's why these are equally important. So let's go to the first stage of our roadmap. So we're going to end up drawing, for those of you who like to sort of plan your space, we're going to draw 3 rectangles under each of these circles. All right, so for a total of 9. So in the first one, I want you to write plan your profit. And if you've just joined, make sure you are muted. Awesome. Plan your profit. When we talk about planning your profit, this is where we talk about where do you want to go revenue-wise and how are we going to get you there? So we talk about your sales process and having a sales process that works for you and the way your clients buy. This is also where we talk about your pipeline, making sure you have enough in your pipeline so that you're on track to make the money you want to make. So when planning your profit is not dialed in, then you can have shiny object syndrome. You don't have a clear path to revenue and the income that you want. And you may not have enough in your pipeline to even reach that goal, right? But when planning your profit is dialed in, it's like having turn-by-turn directions to your income goals. So, and actually, why don't we just pause for a sec? Because I want to just make sure you guys have this. So when we think about your pipeline is the number of people the number of potential clients that you are talking to. And it has to, if you want 5 clients in the next, say, 6 months, you have to have more in your pipeline than 5 clients because inevitably something's going to happen. Something's going to get pushed or a project is going to get canceled or somebody might leave their job or what have you. So what we want to have is in normal times, we want to have between 2 to 3x what's called pipeline coverage. You want to have between 2 and 3 times as much in your pipeline, 2 to 3 times as many clients as you actually want to make in the next 6 months to account for things getting pushed. Now that's in sort of like normal times. These days, I'm actually advising my clients to have between 3 and 5x coverage. So you can quickly do this math for yourself. Let's say if you want to make, I don't know, $50,000 in the next 6 months, and you have 5 potential clients in your pipeline worth about average, engagement $10,000 each, then you only have $50,000 in your pipeline, which means you probably aren't going to make $50,000. To get to $50,000, you actually have to have between $150,000 and $250,000 in your pipeline. All right, so that's what we're talking about with plan your profit. Okay, so all right, let's get back to our roadmap. So I want you to draw another rectangle below. And the second part of our roadmap is show up. Show up. When we talk about showing up, we're talking about how you show up in the world. How do you position your work to your clients and in your marketing, on your website, et cetera? When show up isn't dialed in, then it's difficult for your clients to see the value that you provide. And they really need to see that like in the first glance. It might feel like you have to convince clients of what you do or convince them to see the value. But when show up is dialed in, then when people read your value statement, what we call a painkiller statement, it makes their eyes light up. They immediately see the value and you don't feel like you have to convince anybody. All right. This is how we start to get the clients who automatically, from the first glance, understand that we can provide tremendous value and that we are the best provider. All right. So the next part of our roadmap is evolve your mindset. Evolve your mindset.
When we talk about evolving your mindset, we take a hard look at like, why does selling suck so bad? Why does this feel so uncomfortable? Because you can't look at how to start getting clients without looking at what we bring into this process as women. The messages we heard growing up, the messages we got from society, and how that impacts us as women and as business owners. So in this section, when if evolve your mindset is not dialed in, selling feels uncomfortable. It feels awkward. It can make you feel small or make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. But when your mindset is dialed in, then you can feel comfortable talking to anyone and you can really start to assert and comfortably, feel comfortable in the process and emerge as the CEO in your business. All right. So this is the first part of our roadmap, which is own it. And you can see we haven't actually sold anything yet here because you have to prepare yourself to go out and do this work. You have to sort of build the house and furnish it before you invite people over. Okay. So let's look at, and if you're just joining us, make sure you are muted. All right, so let's look at the second pillar of our roadmap, which is sign it. And remember, sign it is the how of selling. In the first part of our roadmap, I want you to write pack your pipeline. When we talk about packing your pipeline, we're talking about getting leads, getting the right leads in the right way for you. So it's not about cold calling, right? It's if you have gotten leads through referrals, it's about getting more leads through more referrals. And it's about getting the clients who truly have the problem that you solve, not the ones you feel like you just have to take on because they come your way. So when your pipeline isn't full, then it can really put you in this scarcity mindset, right? Because you're not talking to enough people. That causes you to treat every lead as precious and then we start to do things we wouldn't otherwise, right? Like taking on a client just because you need to work, or doing work that you don't love, or agreeing to a discount, right? All of which goes against charging and getting paid more for your work. But when pack your pipeline is dialed in, then you can start to work with the clients that you truly want to work with, the people who have the problem you solve. You don't feel like you have to take on anything that comes your way. All right. And you can start to choose the ones you work with. So this is pack your pipeline. The next part of our roadmap is command the sale. Command the sale. So when we talk about commanding the sale, we talk about around how do we, y'all, my handwriting these days. It's about leading the sales process. And it's not about pitching, right? Nothing that we do in this methodology is about just straight up pitching. This is about leading the client effectively through their own sales process. Now, when command the sale isn't dialed in, you may not know just what to do or how to lead a sale. You might sell too soon and come off as pushy, or you might back off too much and lose an opportunity that really should be a slam dunk for you. And when command the sale is dialed in, then you know how to consistently move your prospects through the sales process and keep them engaged so they don't ghost you, right? And it starts to feel like second nature. And then the last part of this pillar is called close higher. Close higher. This is where the money happens. When we talk about closing higher, we talk about charging a premium using what we call value-based pricing. So this is how you really start to, charge and get paid more for your work. When close higher isn't dialed in, you can be undercharging. And I have to tell you that 99% of women that I talk to are actually undercharging for your work. But it's a little more insidious than that. When close higher isn't dialed in, you can sit there and like when you're writing a proposal and be like, "Ooh, there's no way they'll pay that." And you just like drop it a little bit more, right? But when close higher is dialed in, then you can put together really high value programs that are high value for your clients, but also really profitable for you. Like my client who you saw earlier, who was going hourly and she sold in a $30,000 project.
right? That's what we're talking about here. And I just want to call out, a lot of people think that like this is where we do the pricing, right? And close higher. But you see that to start getting paid more for your work and dramatically more, it actually starts like here. You have to do, it's a result of doing a whole lot right, not just saying, oh, well, I just want to raise my prices. I'm going to knock it up, do it up 10% or whatever. It's part of the journey. All right. So I just want to sort of call that out. All right, let's talk about our third pillar, maximize it. And remember, this is about turning our work into more profitable work. The first part of maximize it, I want you to write protect your price. Protect your price. When protect your price is not protect your price is about negotiating and not sort of, big negotiating across a mahogany table. It's about negotiating in a way that it's advantageous for both parties and it builds the relationship. So when protect your price is not dialed in, you might agree to a discount, you might lower your price, you might start, a lot of people do scope creep, they end up doing scope creep in the when you start to do work together. Scope creep actually starts like right here. And so this is what happens when protect your price isn't dialed in. When it is dialed in, then you can negotiate in a way that builds the business and get you paid what you propose, get you paid all the money, right? So next, I want you to write on the next step of our roadmap, capitalize. When we talk about capitalizing, we're talking about turning your work into more work through referrals and upsells. So you worked so hard to get the client, you don't want to have to start over when a project ends. So when capitalize is dialed in, you can turn your work into more work through referrals and upsells, and the sales process is much easier. Studies, you guys, if you are just joining us, make sure you are muted. Because studies show that repeat purchasers spend about 3 times as much and they have a very high close rate. So we love referrals and upsells. And last but not least, streamline your systems. Streamline your systems. When we talk about streamlining your systems, we're talking about using technology to make your life easier. And this is not about automated funnels or things that really only work for B2C. This is about using technology to enable you to build better relationships and stay on top of your pipeline. All right. So when streamline your systems isn't dialed in, you might be digging through your inbox. You might do a ton of manual work, copying and pasting. You can, drop the ball on some things. When streamline your systems is dialed in, then your technology works for you to make your life easier. All right. So this is the roadmap, but we're going to go through it again very quickly to customize it for you. So we're going to turn this from the roadmap to your roadmap. All right, you guys with me? Tell me in the chat if you are on board to create a customized roadmap for you. All right, Kelsey says on board. Awesome. Okay, good. So we're going to go through this again pretty quickly. So let's do plan your profit. What I'm going to do is offer a few different scenarios and that correspond to green, yellow, or red. And you can use your colored pencils or markers to color in the box, or you can just use your pen to write red on the side. All right, so let's start with plan your profit. If you have a clear sales process that you follow consistently, and your pipeline currently has between 2 to 3 times as much revenue in it as you want to make in the next 6 months, mark it green. If you don't really have a clear sales process, but your pipeline is full, you have between 2 and 3 times as much as you hope to make in the next 6 months, mark it orange. And if you don't really have a consistent sales process and your pipeline, if you had to guess, probably not full, you don't have between 2 and 3x as much as you hope to make. Maybe you're only talking to a few people, mark it red. And then tell me in the chat what you got. And this is just between you and us, all of us here, safe space. Okay, I'm seeing some reds. Tell me in the chat what you got. Okay, so I'm seeing some mostly red here. All right. Don't worry, Dr. Charlie. We're all here together. All right, let's do show up. So if you are 100% sure that you are talking about your work in the absolute best way possible, and your messaging, mark it green. If you feel like there's a chance your positioning could be stronger and more dialed into value, mark it orange. And if you just know flat out, like you're not explaining your value in the best way that you could be, mark it red. So tell me in the chat what you are getting here. How sure are you? Very, very sure that you're doing a great job, or are you maybe not so sure you're doing a great job? Okay, I'm seeing, I think, mostly orange. This is going to become yellow on mine. Okay, evolve your mindset. So if you feel super comfortable selling, like, I got this, I don't feel uncomfortable at all, this is no big thing, mark it green. If you feel a little uncomfortable, like your clients are kind of in charge, mark it orange. And if selling feels just flat out uncomfortable, you kind of wish if you had your druthers, you didn't have to sell at all, mark it red. And tell me what you're getting here. All right, I'm seeing some oranges. All right, okay, that's good, oranges. All right. So let's look at pack your pipeline. We're at the top of the sign it column. If you are getting 5 to 10 leads a week that are your ideal client, like the people that you are dying to work with, mark it green. If you have under 5 leads, but they're all your perfect client, mark it orange. And if you have under 5 leads and they're not really your ideal client anyway, like maybe a mix, mark it red. And tell me what you're getting for this one. All right, I have Liza with orange. Orange, we'll get some red. All right, this one seems to be a mix. So let's do some orange and let's do some red. All right, let's go to command the sale. If you feel super comfortable leading your client through a sales process, leading them to a signature, and you've never really, nobody's ever ghosted you before, mark it green. If you feel somewhat confident about how to lead a sales process, but every now and then a client just sort of stops responding, mark it orange. And if you don't feel super confident leading your client through a sales process, mark it red. And let me know what you're getting here. All right, I see a red, I see an orange, some orange. All right, this is a good mix too. So let's do this one. Okay. Close higher. So if you are using value-based pricing and getting paid way more than you ever thought you could, like it literally makes you pinch yourself, mark it green. If you're doing like fine, but you wish you could be making more, mark it orange. Or if you are charging hourly or a set of hours or a day rate or a retainer based on hours, all right, be honest, that's an automatic red. So hourly, a set of hours, a day rate, or a retainer, that's pretty much also a set of hours. Okay, we got orange, orange. Anybody else want to share? Okay, I'm seeing some oranges. Okay, good. And okay, I see that red too. All right, let's go to protect your price. If you never, while putting together your price, ever have a moment of, if you've never said, oh, they'll never pay that. And, mark, like not once have you thought that, mark it green. If in the past year you have reduced your price at all for any client, mark it orange. And if you have lowered your price at all for any client more than once, mark it red. And tell me in the chat what you get. I think, Bhakti, I don't know how you are annotating this, and I love your enthusiasm, but maybe turn that off. Okay, Liza says finally a green. We got an orange. I see a red, orange. Okay, I think it's like mostly orange, but let's see. I saw a red and maybe one green just for good measure. Okay, capitalize. So if you have a system for getting referrals and upsells and you are doing it consistently, mark it green. If you have a system, but you're not really doing it all that consistently, mark that section orange. And if you want referrals and upsells, but you're just not sure how to get them, mark it red. All right, so I see a red here, couple reds and orange. All right, let's see, I think mostly this, I think. All right, maybe that too. And last but not least, streamline your systems. If you have all of your tools connected, like to your inbox or to a CRM, and they are saving you time, you never have to cut and paste anything, mark it green. If you have one or two tools set up to share information or work together, it's making your life easier, mark it orange. And if you feel like you are cutting and pasting and digging through inboxes and your systems are sort of like a loving mess, mark it red. All right, so I see a red. All right, some oranges too. So let's do these in like a half C. Okay, awesome, you guys, this is amazing. This is so great. So I'm gonna do another tech, costume change. And just real quick in the chat while I'm doing this, tell me, how are you feeling right now? Tell me, how are you feeling right now? And can you see my slides? You're feeling red. You're feeling, okay, are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you feeling jazzed? Are you feeling like, oh my gosh, I know what I need to do? Tell me where you're feeling. I know that this is a lot. I know this is a lot. Look at David Rose here says this is a lot. Okay, so overwhelmed but optimistic. Know what I need to fix. Awesome. So let's just love the gift. Yes, Schitt's Creek, you guys, get on it if you haven't already. It's so good. All right, let's just take a beat. All right, let's think about known issues. Let's talk about what you've learned so far here. You've learned the critical steps to start getting the consulting clients that you really want. You've learned some things that are actually making it harder for clients to say yes to you. You've learned the myths that are likely holding you back, because they hold almost everyone back, and you've created your roadmap. So let's look at why you showed up today. You showed up because you want to know how to actually get consulting or coaching clients, even if you've never had to sell before. You want to charge and get paid more for your valuable work. You showed up probably because the sales part, air quotes, feels uncomfortable, and you want to feel as comfortable and confident in that part as you are in doing the work. And you want to prevent or fix burnout. All right. But that's like a sort of functional, why you showed up. Let's look at why you really showed up. You really showed up because you're tired of working this hard right now. You just don't have it in you to work this hard right now. You really showed up because you know that other people are getting paid more and you want that to be you. You really showed up because you are likely a type A overachiever like me, and you feel embarrassed that you don't know how to do this already. And you really showed up because you're not afraid of doing the work, but you just want to make sure it's the right work. And you're tired of trying to figure this out yourself. So, and when you're tired, you just want somebody to tell you what to do. So how are you going to get there? Well, there are two options. The option one is you can reverse engineer your roadmap, which I would imagine will take you anywhere from 36 to 48 months. Like, I will literally give you the list of 65 books. You can read them all. You can figure it out and reverse engineer your roadmap. Or you can follow a step-by-step proven approach with my help. And that's what I put together in my program, Signed. So Signed is not an online course. It's a hands-on, high-touch coaching program working directly with me and a small group of women who are committed to growing their consulting businesses. And the result of this work that we do together is that you get the clients you want, you get paid, you get more yeses, and you get paid dramatically more for every contract. And we like to think about this program in two phases, in the first 10 weeks and in the first year. So in the first 10 weeks, we work together closely, learning the fundamentals of selling. We go through this roadmap and put it into place in your business. And then in the first year, you get sales coaching with me to help you use what you're learning to actually apply it to your business and your clients and get paid more for every contract. All right. So let's dive into the first 10 weeks. In the first week of the learning phase, we focus on own it, where you become the CEO in this selling part of your business. You're going to learn how to turn your work into a painkiller. We're going to do your sales process. You're going to focus on your pipeline coverage and learn a critical CEO mindset shift for selling. In this section, in all of these sections, it is jam-packed with tools, templates, and bonuses to help you along. Even after the first couple weeks, you can already start to see meaningful results. So Marina is an organizational consultant, and she said, I was at an event the other night and someone asked me the fateful question, what do you do? I presented my new value statement so clearly that she began asking me questions in order to understand if I might be the solution to a problem she and her company are having. And now we're having a call next week. That's what's possible even in those first couple weeks. So in weeks 4 to 6 of the learning process, we focus on Sign It, where you're going to learn how to lead the sales process to a successful close in a way that doesn't even feel like selling. You're going to learn how to find the clients who can afford you, the ones you can say yes. You're going to learn how to confidently lead a sales process to build a relationship. You're going to start getting paid more and write proposals that clients are excited to say yes to. And honestly, we don't even have time to look at all these tools, templates, and bonuses. They're all on the website, which I'll share with you in a second. But suffice it to say, there's never a moment in this course where you don't have a tool or a template to start with. After this part of the process and Sign It, you can already start to see results in the sales process. So Betsy said, my prospect emailed back and said, you're the only person I talked through that had a sales process for me to go through. And that client signed up for the full bells and whistles program. In the week 7 to 10, we work on maximizing it, where you learn how to balance business development and doing client work and make every contract more profitable. So this is where you learn how to get referrals and upsells, how to respond to requests for lowering your price, and how to save time and make your life easier using technology. In this section, you're getting coaching calls, referral templates, CRM recommendations, and so much more. In this part of the learning, you can start to save time and, which is essentially profit for you. So Amanda is a workforce consultant and she started getting paid 4 figures more per project for work she had been doing for free. And she saved basically the equivalent of 19 days. I mean, is that wild or what? In the first year after that, you're getting live sales coaching with me every other week and coaching anytime in a private Slack group where you can get help on any of the clients you're talking to, your sales process, and anything that you are working on in your business. And we do this community on Slack, and I'm going to just be on a little bit of a soapbox here, but we moved our community to Slack from Facebook. And this is like a little ranty, but we're not on Facebook because of privacy practices, data practices, fostering extremism. And I am just personally unwilling to use a free tool, so that they can make money on you. So with all of that, we have moved all of our group off of Facebook and to Slack. So if you're with me on that, I don't know, a lot of people are like getting off Facebook. I took Facebook off my phone. It's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. Taking Facebook and Instagram off your phone is the best thing you'll do in your life. Okay, so the cool thing is the next Sign class starts on Monday, August 23rd. And if you want to put it in your calendar, it is at 1 p.m. Eastern. And you can get all of this when you apply today at smartgetspaid.com/sign. So let's look at what actually happens when you apply. So you're going to be invited to a no commitment 15-minute call with my program specialist, Mandy Miller. And you guys are just going to talk about what's going on in your business and whether we're a good fit. There's nothing you have to do or buy on those calls when you go to smartgetspaid.com/signed. And if we can't help you, we only take on people into this program that we know we can help. So if we can help you, we'll let you know. So everything you need is in this course, and there is so much content filled
bonus content built in. Like I said, this is all of the thing. I'm just watching the clock. I don't need to go through all of this. You can see all of it at smartgetspaid.com/signed. So you're going to do the lessons on your own timeline. You're going to join once a week calls to get help and answers so you can keep moving forward. You are going to get support and guidance from me at all times during our intensive learning process throughout the year. And P.S. calls are Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And the cool thing about this program, which makes it different from any other sales program, is that it's not just sort of learning, it's personalized, situation specific coaching, helping you sign the potential clients you're talking to right now. Today, right now, if you had a question on what's your next step with a prospect, who would you ask? In this program, you can come in, you can get help at any time, so you always know the right move. And there's no additional spending on any ads or technology, like nothing. Everything is in this course and you get lifetime access, including all the updates that we make when you apply at smartgetspaid.com/sign. So one question I get is, okay, so let's say all this works. What if I get too busy? Well, if you get too busy, well, first of all, that's an amazing problem to have. And then you have options. Raise your prices. I mean, you're going to raise them with me in this program, but raise them even more. You can start a wait list. You can get a deposit now for work in the future. And you can only take on the clients you want and say no to the rest. So also, I mean, did I mention raising the prices? So don't let fear of getting too many clients prevent you from learning how to get any clients. So one of the questions I get is, what type of results should I expect to see? And let's go through a few of them here. So this is one of my students. This is kind of long. Let's just focus on this part. She said, I got a 6-figure engagement for 6 months of work. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. And Eileen said she got her largest August ever with strategy projects and 2 strategy projects and 1 tactical one. Another one of my clients got a signed contract in her inbox, 5-figure fee for 6 weeks of coaching and 3 new clients. So Mina, we talk about price. I see your question there. So we share the price with the clients who are an awesome fit. So the best way to determine if you're a great fit and if we can help you is to head to smartgetspaid.com/sign and apply. There's no obligation, and you'll just jump on a quick 15-minute call where if we can't help you, we will let you know. And if we can, we'll share a lot more information. All right. So one of my clients says, this is when it's July 1st and you have your best quarter already booked on day 1. And it's not just, a handful of results here and there. When we surveyed signed alums, 91% of signed alumni had signed a new client or grown a contract with a current client in the past 6 weeks. Like, Jamie Parker said, she said, a month ago, I was terrified because my pipeline was so bare. And then in a few weeks, here's where she is. Signed contract, 2 new discovery calls, 2 proposals in progress. And her confidence level is so much higher. And Christine said, I just won the largest website project I've ever had, and I've never felt more confident in my sales calls. And here's the thing, money is great, right? Of course, but there are so many other parts of being that you bring to yourself as a business owner to this process. And when you can land new clients and you know what to do, it helps that as well. Valentina mentioned this when she said, this course has brought me so much clarity because that I know that I can do it. And since I know what to do, I don't second guess myself or have all of that self-doubt. Think about all those times where you sort of just sit at your computer, like spinning around, wondering what the next, best step is, or second guessing yourself. If you could take all that, what is it, 25% of your brain that's working on that and devote it to something else, what would that mean for you and your, even self-care and as a business owner? So once you see the kind of results that you can get and how quickly you can get them, applying is kind of a no-brainer, but I want to make this a totally risk-free decision for you. If after you talk to Mandy and you decide this is right for you, if you haven't gotten any value from the program whatsoever after 14 days, just return your completed worksheets from the revenue worksheet and I'll provide a full refund. No questions asked. There's no risk to applying. So another question I get is, who has this worked for? So B2B service-based businesses, so B2B consulting, B2B coaching, where landing a client means talking to your client. So any type of branding, brand strategy, personal branding, all types of marketing, digital marketing, web development, anything like management consulting, leadership consulting, organizational development consulting, HR consulting, workforce consulting. You guys are going to hear me say the word consulting like all the time. Payroll consulting, fashion consulting, retail consulting, and more. Anywhere, it's really contracts anywhere from 2,500 to 250,000. And again, that's, when you apply at smartgetspaid.com/signed, you're just going to be invited to schedule a no commitment 15-minute call with Mandy, who's awesome. And you guys are just going to talk about your business and figure out if this is a good fit or not. If it's not a great fit, we will let you know. And there's nothing you have to do or buy on those calls. They're all about you. All right, you guys. So it is, I'm happy to, stick around for questions. Let me know what questions I can answer for you about what we talked about today, about the program, about your roadmap. Just post them in the chat and I will answer them. But there are a couple of questions I get, fairly commonly. What time are the calls? They are, so after that Monday kickoff, they are Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and they are all recorded. So if you have to miss a call, no worries. If you have to miss 2 calls, I mean, this happens, right? We all have lives. So if you have to miss a call, you can always catch the recording and get caught up. Let's see, people ask, how much time do I get with you? So in this program, you get 3 one-on-one calls with me. So you get one at the beginning where we address anything that's on your plate right now so you can get some quick help, and one towards the end. And in the middle, you also get a proposal review. So I'm going to review an actual proposal that you're putting together and give you very specific feedback to help you make it more compelling and more likely to get a yes and get paid more. All right. So what else? How long do I get access to the program? That's another question I get. So you get access to the videos, the templates, everything, like forever. This is lifetime access. So there is a lot here, and you can always come back to it if you face a situation where there's something that can help you. If somebody, you want to get a referral, that you can always go back to the templates. All right. Any other questions? Let me know in the chat if you have other questions. People have asked in the past, do I have to have my messaging totally perfect before I do the program? And the answer is no. We actually spend a lot of time on messaging in week 2. That's what we do in Show Up. Because of course, dialing in your messaging is a really important part of attracting the right clients. Julie asks price. So I shared that. So Julie, we share all the details, including the price, with the people who are a great fit. After they apply, we can, if we decide we can help you, after we learn a little bit more about your business, we're happy to share price, details, all the details after you apply at smartgetspaid.com/signed. Bruce says, WOBs only. What does that mean? Let me know. Maybe this is just an acronym I have not come across yet. Women-owned businesses. Oh, yeah. Bruce, yes, it is women-owned businesses only. So if you identify as a woman and you run a business, or if you identify as a woman and you are part of a consulting, coaching, or service-based business, even if you're not the founder, but you have been tasked with, getting new clients, then this is for you as well. All right, you guys, I've kept you a little bit over. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I so appreciate you hanging out and, spending this time creating your roadmap. If you have any questions, I'm just going to put in the chat right here. Everyone, hold on. Let me, smartgetspaid.com/sign into the chat so you guys have it at your fingertips. And let's see if I can get myself back here, put my little video back on. All right, am I back? Yes, I am back. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed this training. I hope you have a really good sense of where you need to, focus in your roadmap. If you want to work with me to put every piece of your roadmap into place so that you can land higher paying clients, get more yeses, and feel super confident in this part of your business, I hope you'll go to smartgetspaid.com/signed and just apply. There's no obligation, no commitment to apply. Let's just have a conversation and share a little bit more about your business, and we will let you know if we can help. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you in Signed. Bye.